Dana Osgood is in for Ryan Breton tonight. So Dana, when we saw you a few minutes ago, you were giving us a little tease of what's coming up. You mentioned looking toward the weekend already, and I thought, she knows what we're talking about on a Wednesday.
Oh, absolutely, especially because there's a little bit of changes in the 7-day that come into play during the weekend. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. I wanted to talk about high temperatures today. First, it was a little bit on the cool side in some spots, only a high of 65 in Rockland today, a high of 70 in Lewiston, high of 72 today in Freiburg. But dew point temperatures have been incredibly comfortable in the upper 40s, a couple lower 50s. That puts us in that refreshing category. We have had a lot of dry air around. We do have some cloud cover if you're near the coast. It's very, very slight. That's because a lot of the clouds in the system to our south is just far enough away that you can see we're just on the outer edge here, seeing a little bit of that clouds along the immediate coastline and some areas of southern Maine, but the rest of the state seeing bluebird skies. So as we go into the overnight hours, it will be a little bit chilly overnight because we have clear skies, relatively light winds. So overnight lows will be dropping down into the 40s, even some low 40s in some spots, and possibly some upper 30s in areas of the mountains. So you might see a little bit of frost in some of those higher elevations. As we get into the day tomorrow, another really nice day, starting out the day with a lot of sunshine. And then it'll be a little bit warmer in some spots in the afternoon, But then we do have a little front that starts to come in that is not going to have a lot of moisture associated with it, but it will start to cool things down as we get into the weekend. Therefore, our Friday high temperatures won't be quite as warm. Then as we get into the weekend, things start to change a little bit. Another really sunny day for Saturday. As you just saw in the hour by hour, there were not a lot of changes between the next couple of days, but Sunday is where we start to see those changes. Sunday, we have an area of low pressure moving in, bringing in the chance of some showers. There's a little bit of an elevated shower chance than what we were looking at earlier this week. Then you can see here most of that shower activity will be in areas of western and southern Maine and into areas of New Hampshire. However, elsewhere across the state, still seeing some onshore flow, so I don't expect Sunday to be very sunny across any portions of the state here. Then the European model does something a little weird. It brings this system farther south, and then we end up nice for a few days, but then it brings this same system back in for Thursday. The GFS model does not have this, so we're going to keep an eye on it as we get into next week to see how things play out and just how much precipitation we get. The dew point trend still remains very, very comfortable. Dew points will be in the 50s, in the 40s, very much in that comfortable and refreshing category. Marine forecast comes in, seas 2 to 3 feet, ocean temperature is 62. Then in terms of that 7-day forecast, got a lot of sunny days coming up and a little bit warmer for the day tomorrow, but a lot of very similar days coming up in terms of the sky condition. And again, those dew points are going to be really, really comfortable. Then, as we talked about, getting into the second half of the weekend, showers start to develop, especially in areas of western Maine. Then we'll look at that shower risk for Monday. Brian and Amanda, obviously, will be keeping an eye on things for that low pressure coming back in Wednesday and Thursday. We'll keep an eye on it.
We just have to shift this limited rain off our weekends when it does get here, but we'll get there eventually. All right, Dana, thanks so much.